Okay, back to my video. Sorry about that retarded interruption. Now, I'm gonna put the camera back where it belongs. And now, so back then the insects ruled and stuff, and so did the weather. With oxygen levels so high, a single lightning bolt would be deadly. A single one could make a giant explosion. And this time period wasn't really that exciting. I'm gonna go on to the next one. Okay, after that, our reptile ancestor, the branch of the tree of life, split into two. It made an herbivore creature that looked like a dinosaur, and a carnivore one. The carnivore one survived by eating these ones, and there's not much in that time period. Then we have the next time period, our ancestor Garganopsis, a giant mammal-like reptile, more mammal, even though mammals didn't exist back then. It was giant, it had some of the first saber teeth, and had a deadly bite. Amphibians struggled to survive at the time. There were barely any water on the planet. The planet was mostly desert. You then have the tiny mammal-like reptile things with little horns, so they could fight for food, leaves, and bushes. But then a volcanic extinction happened. Garganopsis went extinct, and we had our newest ancestor, a small, truly link between mammal and reptile. It burrows holes and has fur like a mammal, but it walks like a reptile and lays eggs like a reptile. And around this time, there was the dinosaur's ancestor, a tiny lizard. Only he was different from all the animals on Earth. He was the first animal that could walk on two legs because of how his hip was made. And then those tiny mammal-like reptile things turned into giant reptile things. There was only one of their kind left. They were the tusked creatures. But then some of the first dinosaurs were born. The first one, Coelophysis. This creature evolved into Coelophysis, a curious reptile creature with a long face extending out and could walk only on two legs and was a predator. They grew in big numbers, and there was one really deadly creature at this time. It was this giant crocodile thing. I forget his name, like Zookosaurus or something. It was a giant crocodile that didn't need water. It was very great predator, deadly bite, and the only thing it feared was its own kind. But then it went extinct, and then Coelophysis, some of the Coelophysis evolved into a familiar dinosaur. It was a giant plant eater thing. Then life evolved from there, turning into the dinosaurs. You have Brontosaurus, Brachiosaurus, Saltosaurus. You have T-Rex, Allosaurus, Gigantosaurus, predator ants in Antarctica. You have all sorts of creatures. But our ancestors, cowering, staying still in evolution, fearing all these big reptiles, turning so low into rodents. These were some of the first mammals, and the most successful one, rodent. Then the dinosaurs went extinct. Then these rodents evolved. They had a really small brain, smaller than our thumb, but then they advanced, evolving, growing brains, turning into monkeys. And then our newest discovered ancestor, Ida, the monkey-lemur relative. It was half monkey, half lemur, half humanoid. It had a hand that could grasp like a human. It was really strong. This one was an infant between 12 and 6 years old because of its teeth. It has a short face like a human. It doesn't really have any canines, which are teeth. And it had some stomach contents left, so it ate some seed leaves. It had a foot in its bone, so that it could walk. And this creature existed in Germany, Europe. So then it advanced from that and went to Africa. No one knows what animals came in between that, but then it turned into Lucy. an ancestor that could finally walk on two legs again. And they evolved into the small tomboy ape, which is a nickname, a creature that could walk on two legs and began to eat meat. All it really ate was bone marrow. It took skeletons from creatures, took rocks, and broke them open to eat the marrow inside. And then it evolved into a different ape. I forget about it. Then it became Homo sapien, the most human-like ancestor we had. It had a man-like body. It had the same skin as us. It was still a bit hairy. It had large, hairy fur and walked beside Gigantopithecus, the largest ape to ever exist. Still, no one knows if our ancestors feared it or became friends with it. Some people say Gigantopithecus is Bigfoot's ancestor. That some of the first man-made land bridges, Gigantopithecus walked across it and evolved into a snow ape, and then became Bigfoot. No one knows. But then this creature made tools, and Homo erectus did the greatest breakthrough ever for man. It made fire. It didn't fear fire like all the animals. There was a great breakthrough, and no one knows if this ancestor hunted. We know it made spears, but some people think they used it to scare predators away from their food. Then Homo erectus evolved on a different land. They made rafts and then went to different islands. When they went into the islands, they met the Manus. And the Manus evolved into the pygmy Manus. Manus as small as ponies, and since it was a great meat source, they hunted it so much that it went extinct. But then soon, when these ancestors went back, some of them went to Europe, and others stayed in Africa, and these Europe ones evolved into Neanderthal, a separate species of human. But then these one ancestor we had went back to Africa and met Homo erectus again. If a creature evolved, doesn't mean the pre-evolved form goes extinct. It could be successful rarely. So Homo erectus met its creator. They became friends, but it's still unknown how Homo erectus got extinct. But then, one day, our creatures evolved into Cro-Magnons, our species of human. They went to Europe and met the Neanderthals. The Neanderthals were more advanced than us, so we had to leave. But then we came back with our advance. So it was a war between two different human species. We had the short, stocky, brute strength Neanderthal who is used to the cold and exists here. And then we have our species, Cro-Magnon, tall, thin, big-brained humans with a great knowledge. We were more advanced than Neanderthal. This is how they think Neanderthal went extinct. Our species murdered some of them, but then since we brought disease, that killed most of them. But then it was the climate. Once it went from cold forest to warm forest, Neanderthal couldn't stand it and died. The last of the Neanderthals were in this exact cave. They drank fresh water, and thanks to their Cro-Magnon friends, yes, they have been friends sometimes. They learned how to fish by using spears, so they caught primitive dolphins and other stuff. But then they sadly went extinct, leaving us to advance. Then humans evolved from that, growing bigger and bigger, growing our knowledge about evolution, and it ends up to now, us, the future. But what will evolve after that? Well, we'll come after humans. Are humans the last stage of our evolution? Might we evolve into a different ape? An even less hairier one? No one knows. Goodbye, everybody. That is the end of my evolution trip.